Happy Saturday, my friends, and welcome to another live show from East Texas. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I'm DC Gomez. I'm your host. I'm also an indie author. I am a coach. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a mentor. But above all, my friends, I'm a dreamer, which is the reason I started this series. I truly believe everyone should live their best lives now. I want people to be happy now, fulfill, and find their place. So this is why I am completely excited to do this. Today's topic, my friends, is going to be all about branding, specifically your personal brand, if you didn't know you had 101. But before we get started, if you're joining me, go ahead, give this video a like, share it, invite somebody to join us. Let's make this a community. Let's grow together. This is what we're all about. Before we get going, I want to give Mr. Aaron Brand a huge shout out. So if you ever watched my feed recently, Aaron did this beautiful post. He did this beautiful article on the Chit Chats. So it's all about us. It's all about this community. It's all about what we're doing to try to build it. So thank you, Mr. Aaron. So quick reminder, if you're here, if you have a question at any point in time, put it in the comments. I'm going to be looking down to make sure that I'm following. I'll be answering your questions. If not, I'll answer after the show. So don't worry about it. If you have a personal thing, just send me a message. It's all good. So personal brands. Let's talk about this. Did you know you had a brand? Were you aware that you had a brand? Are you even familiar that there's actually a thing? So take a look at it. We know all about brands. We know all about name brands. We know all about generic brands. So if you look around the room that you're in, and I'm hanging out in my living room, so the first thing, I can look at my TV, I can tell you the brand, I can tell you the brand of my computer, I can tell you the brand of my spinning bike. And yes, you're probably judging me like, what? Yes, I have a spinning brand. I have a spinning bike in my living room for the simple fact that it's out of sight, out of mind. If I don't get to see it, I probably won't exercise. So the bike is somewhere where I can see it. But we're familiar with brands. Think about it. We wear so-and-so shirts, so-and-so pants. We got even so-and-so underwears. We have brands everywhere. What we don't realize is that we have a personal brand. The brand that communicates who we are in all things. So I recently read a quote from Ross Nolte, which I love. He has the book, How to Become a Successful Author. And he kind of explained brand that made it very simple to understand because I was not getting this. When it finally clicked that I had a brand, it really, truly was an aha moment for me. It kind of actually opened my eyes because at the beginning, I thought when I started as a writer that my brand was my books. I thought that's what I was conveying. I thought that was my image, and I have several writers who just jump in. Hi, gentlemen, so happy to have you guys. So I thought the books were my brand. That was what I was imagining. It wasn't until I realized that the person who I was the brand. So take a look at Russell's quote and tell me you can relate to this one. This is kind of what he says, and we're going to break it down some more. So your brand is the vibe that you give off to the world. So this is kind of a different way in our perception. So it is tying all those pieces of who we are into what we're conveying. So here's something to think about. If you're trying to say the vibe that I convey is kind of like a little vague, what does that mean? So let's put it a little easier. Think of your friends, buddies, whoever you have. Think of your network circle. Think of the things you're sharing with them. The articles, if you're walking on the street, you see something, you buy it for them. That's the brand. That is what your friends reflect in your mind. That is who they are to you. Simple enough. Now switch it. Now start thinking, paying attention of the things people send you. Think of the photos, the articles, the videos. What are they sending to you? So, and today I'm going to use myself as an example just to kind of keep it a little simple and personal so I don't get in trouble. So here's my brand for anybody who haven't thought about it. So here is what you're looking at it. I get lots. If you ever look at my feed, you're going to see tons of motivational posts. I'm a believer that I said out of sight, out of mind. If I see it, it'll remind me. It's good to think about it. Great. So I need that. I need those reminders. I also need, kind of inspiration every once in a while just to feed my soul. So you're going to get a lot of that. You're also going to get lots of cat pictures. So I apologize for no people who are not cat lovers. Here is the reality of it, which is kind of strange. I write lots of stuff about cats. At first, it was an accident. I don't know how it happened. It just did. I am the officially undercover cat lady. So people understand I have my own cat who's boycotting me today and is hiding somewhere. I have cat novels. So I have a book called The Cat Lady Special. So I'm very aware that I'm going to get cat pictures. I'm going to get funny memes. I'm going to get lots and lots of stuff related to my writing world. So I get quotes about writers. The one thing you're going to see is pictures of me smiling. Here's the part. That is not by accident, my friends. I am a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. Social media is part of my business. Those things are very much strategic. That image of me smiling did not just come across by accident. So let me give you a couple stories that kind of bring this home. A couple years ago, I needed to take a picture. I had asked my younger brother Antonio to help me, and I was going to do it outside, and I had this vision of this look. I wanted to look like a serious author. Like I had this whole, the whole nine yards. I look cheesy as you can possibly imagine, but I had this look in my mind. So we took several pictures. Brother was amazing, typical, okay, I'll do this with you. Then I asked for his opinion. I was like, what do you think of this? Because I thought I looked legit. I was serious. I was focused. And he goes, And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, my sister smiles. And I thought, okay. Needless to say, didn't use the serious pictures. Didn't think much about it. A few years later, we had a conversation with my mother. And my mother has said, I've been deployed to Iraq as a soldier. So I've been in the army. And one of the things my mom has always said is, I know when something's wrong when you're not cracking jokes, when you're not laughing. I have a dark sense of humor. I think everything's funny. Even in situations that I probably shouldn't be laughing, I think everything's amusing and I'm laughing. I thought that's what my family saw of me. That was the portrait of what my family was connecting. It wasn't until last year that I realized this is my brand. This is part of who I am. So I'm going to give you a little insider's tip before I give you the story. So I had professional pictures done last year. If you're in any business or not at all, get professional pictures. Invest in a photographer, book a session, an hour and a half, whatever you need. I am very blessed that I live in a place where I have friends who are all photographers who are incredible. So I have several of them, but invest in this. So I gave a huge shout out to the fabulous Aaron, who has done an incredible job for the Chit Chat. He helped me promote it. But here's what went down. So we had literally a short conversation, and then he said, send me a photo. This is the part for anybody, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you're starting a new career, something huge has happened in your life and people want to celebrate you, they're going to ask you for a photo. So you have to be prepared. So here's your tip for the day, regardless of the business, the career path that you are. Because even if you're an employee, your employer might want to celebrate you one day. They're going to ask you for a photo. Be prepared. So that's your tip. If you hadn't thought about it, you'd be surprised what an incredible camera, a great photographer, and some good lighting can do. It'll just make your day. It makes things a little easier too. So that's your tip. So last year, I had to get new photos. I was doing my marketing campaign. So if you ever paid attention to the brand, so we're talking all about the brand, my brand is very consistent across social media. So it is literally the same picture in Facebook, in Instagram, in YouTube, as well as in Amazon. Why? And my website. Yes, my website's still the same. Why? I don't want to give any potential reader or any potential person looking for me a possibility of not seeing me or looking at a picture going, is this the same person? So when I picked the picture, I was very strategic. I was seriously looking for something that convey that look. So I got Brian Jeffries, who's amazing, to do or shoot. He is, granted, find a photographer that you connect. Find somebody that you can truly bring the best of you out. So I got Brian. Brian is amazing, great eye. So we went and took these pictures. So I'm going to share these pictures, which is a little odd because normally I wouldn't. It's a little uncomfortable, but I needed to give you the point. So here's what we did. So we spent about an hour last year, and here's what we ended up with. Yes, and I did write me before and after, so it's a little kind of weird, so what can I say? But take a look at the picture on the left. Most of you have seen this, part of the brand. Then take a look of you on the picture on the right, okay? So besides the pictures being black and white, that's not the difference. It is the difference became very obvious to me, and that's when the branding click is why I really love both of those pictures. And the black and white, I'm like, it has this look, it has, very, reflective, pensive, fill in the blanks. You can put whatever adjective you want behind. You can describe it whichever way makes you smile. One of the things that became very obvious to me, it wasn't what I was looking for my personal brand in terms of the business. I have a brand. I want people, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor. I want the look to be warm. I want people to connect. I also want you to feel comfortable enough to talk to me. I want you to look at this picture and be like, She looks kind of nice. Here's the reality. I'm a little intense. I get this all the time. I have to be very careful because my brother says it and they know me better than anybody. You can be overwhelming. It's a bit scary sometimes. You have all this energy and you have all this excitement and it can be too much. So I needed something that wasn't I needed something that was in the top. When it comes to my brand, I have to be a little bit more, bring it down. Everybody doesn't need me at full speed coming at you with 500 things to do. Overwhelming. So I wanted a picture that said warmth. And actually when people see it, they're actually like, your smile is great. Check the box. All right, we're going to, see, I practice. So we're going to work on the smile because I want you to feel comfortable. So if you go back to the pictures, just to give you an idea, what was the brand? Why I love the black and white. It was all about what did my personal brand, what is that picture? What is it that I wanted to do? And I had to look at it. He sent me several pictures. I have used the same branding across the board for my marketing campaign. What is it, that look that you see? Because that is really what I'm trying to kind of get at. I am a coach and I'm a mentor and I'm an author. But above all, I want people to want to talk to me and want to connect. And I go to conventions all the time. I go to different events. And the whole purpose is about making people feel comfortable. I want, I write stories that are related to people. I write stories that are related to people finding family, to people connecting with each other. So that's the brand that I was looking for. So switch a little over and think of Disney. Famous brand. So one of creators that I follow who is amazing, Nick Stillison, did an actual research on it. So he is in England and he went to, the Disney in Europe, and so he went to the park. And this is what he said, which caught my attention. He's called it the Disney experience. So if you never thought about it, kind of think about it last time you went to Disney, last time you watched a Disney movie, last time you paid for something from Disney. Disney is the experience that we officially want to give them our money. And if you hadn't thought about it, go back. It is a complete funnel for us to get to the parks, even as adults. Adults want to go to Disney. We are in love with the experience. Everything they do strategic. Everything is to build this bubble, to make people feel amazing about them. So Disney is amazing at creating that vibe. So think about what Russell said. What is that vibe that you're looking for? What is it that you're trying to convey? So if you're looking at me going, DC, this is all exciting. If I had a business, I'll be taking notes. If I was an author, I would do this. If I was in some kind of a creative field, how does this apply to me? Because, I'm not seeing the connection. Let's break it down. It's all about taking this a little level. It doesn't matter whether you're in a creative field, which is important, own entrepreneur, you're a solopreneur, or if you're an employee. How does this affect you? If everybody has a brand and everybody has a vibe and everybody has a reflection, let's say this is a very true life example that I learned about it recently. We have an employee, works for a company. And by the way, you have a Facebook profile. Even if your Facebook profile is private, everything's locked, you have everything as secure as you think, you have friends. Those friends has friends. Fill in the blank. Somebody can take a screenshot of anything you posted at any given time. Here's the problem. If for whatever reason your profile starts with, let's make it very obvious, you put the company's name at the top of your profile. Here's what happens that we tend to take for granted. And then Tom is a little bit, let's break it down into little chunks. Here's what happens. If somebody sees that picture that you posted, it might have been an inside joke with somebody you're friends with. It might be something you related. It might be something completely outside of the scope. And they take it out of context. They can take a screenshot and send it not to you. They can send it to the company you work with. So imagine somebody taking a picture that you posted or something that you share, something that you forward outside of the context of what you were trying to say, and sending it to your employer and saying, is this what your company represents? Your company, they have officially made your company very aware of your private life. Because now, as an employee that you stated in your profile has made a comment that is offensive to a person that is potentially a client or another employee or a partner, is that the brand that they're looking for? Because your brand is now in complete conflict with theirs. Can the company do something? Yes, this is happening now. I have had people when I was in business that have actually done Google searches of me and they know more about me, this is before I had Facebook, than I actually realized was out there. So your brand can have a direct effect on your livelihood. And we can sit here and we can all be like, people are just sensitive, people need to get over themselves, we can say 500 million things. But if your brand affects your livelihood and is affecting your financial and it affects your life of your family, it's a problem. And that's where the brand comes into play. There is no such thing as privacy online anymore. Everything is out there for the public and whatever the public might be. You know, I always say we have some dream assassins out there. You also have people that might not be in your best interest, whether we like it or not. Statistics says 20% of the population is not going to like us. 20% is huge, but it'll also say another 20% is going to love you regardless of what you do. Don't take it personal. We're living in a world where your brand is what you're selling. Even if you're not in a business, just a regular employee, just a regular person, you're just trying to live your life. Those things can be taken out of context. So what to do? Here's kind of bringing it all back, kind of giving you those chunks, kind of helping it out, because it's real, is what we're living in. So if you are in a business, or if you are an author, or if you are an artist, whatever you are, think about the image that you're trying to portray. Think about the people that you're trying to bring to your tribe. Who is those people that you want to be in your life? I have a couple of friends who started businesses recently, which is exciting. So we've been talking business talk, which is I love. And they asked, they're getting ready to start, the social media platform. And the first thing I asked them is, what does your Facebook feed look like? Because they're going to be using Facebook to promote. And a couple of them honestly says like, ooh, I might have to clean that. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you. You might have to clean that. If you're going to be attracting people into your business, whatever that might be, or into your role, what is somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't see you, who doesn't have a background with you going to think? What is the first impression they're going to think of you and your business? Is this something that's going to make them want to buy, or is going to push them away? So a couple of them, I send them back. Go look at your feed, both in whatever platform that you're doing. What is it that you're conveying? What is that brand that you're saying? And a couple of them said very honest, like, I might need to delete some of those posts. Because here's the reality, friends. We all have bad days. All of us. We all have those days that you're just frustrated, you're just not feeling good, and you might make a post. That snapshot of that one time and place might not be a reflection for your entire brand. So here's the part. Take it down. I got people that tell me I'm being real. That is great. There's a time and place. And a time and place is going to dictate what is it that you're trying to convey. If you're an artist, think about what is it that your mission is going to be. Who are the people you're trying to attract? Who are the people you want in your circle? To make it a little bit more personal. If you're in a business of being a motivational coach, I'm a motivational coach. That's really what I want to do. If everything you saw in my feed was negative, it was judgmental, it was disparaging, if everything you saw in my personal page did not match with my business page, will you believe me? Will you truly want to follow anything I said? Will you really believe that I care about you when I spend half of my time criticizing you? That's the reality. People really don't care the things that we say, but they care how we make them feel. So that's those reality. Then go back, my friends, and think about in terms of you're in a stage in your life that you're looking for cheerful things. You want it to be excited. You're trying to get motivated. And everything you see in your feed is a little negative. What do? So here's the part. And Facebook is an algorithm. Took me a while for me to understand what that meant. Here's the reality of it. If you're not liking the things you see in your feed, change it. Facebook is going to respond. Instagram's going to respond. YouTube's going to respond. All of these systems are going to respond specifically to the things that you like, you share, you comment. If everything you have in your feed is not making you happy, stop commenting it. Just keep swiping. It's okay. Here's the part. You don't have to unfollow every single person on your feed. You can. It's kind of drastic. I don't recommend it. You just don't have to acknowledge it. And the system is going to look at it. So if you're trying to change that branding that you have, take a look at what you're saying. Take a look at what you have said. Take a look what is connecting with you. Here's the weird part about it. Somebody keeps telling me, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay. Beautiful thing about it, we're not dogs. That doesn't apply to humans. If you don't believe you have changed, if you don't believe you have grown, or that you have matured, go back and look at old pictures. Take a look at what you looked like 5 years ago. Take a look at the things you were doing and how your habits, how your taste Everything has changed. Even our body changes every 7 years, and you tend to pick up diseases and allergies you didn't have. So you are entitled to change, my friends. You are entitled to decide, this doesn't fit me anymore. This doesn't serve me anymore. What you did 10 years ago might not be who you are now. You are allowed to change it. So giving some quick tips. Think about it, what you're trying to do. What is your brand? If Russell is correct, and I like it, it's simple to the point. If Russell is right in what he says, and a brand is the vibe that we give off to the world, and if the brand is what people are associating with who we are, both as a creative being, as a human being, then what does it look like? Have you thought about it recently? What is that brand that is going to make people go, I like that person? So little tips for us today. And you guys, I'm all about giving you some sweet tips. Take a look at what you've been posting. Take a look at the people you're following. Take a look at the people that you're liking. Take a look at the things that you're sharing. And they're in tune with who you are. And they're in tune with who have you become, the mission that you carry, and the brand that you have. If you are a creative person, if you're in the business, here's some quick tips to help you out with your brand. Some things that I learned very early on. So take a look at everything that you have in your platform. So if you're a writer and you have an Amazon page, you have a BookBug page, you have a Goodreads page, whatever those pages that you are, make sure that they all have the same image. This sounds kind of weird, but you do not want your audience to be guessing what this image looks like. They don't want to guess when you switch. So if you're going to update your photos, you need to update all of your social medias, all of your social profiles that people are following you. So if you have an Amazon page that is free for every author, so if you don't have a page, please, and you're an author and you're in the creative field, go to Amazon, do your page, update your bio there, make sure people are following. Same thing with BookBug. If you don't have one, do it. Why? Because Amazon and BookBug will send anybody that follows you a free email telling them when you have a new book. So for my author friends, if you haven't do it, because that's the first image that people have of you. Control your brand, control your marketing. If you have a YouTube page, same thing. While we all want to have a website, and we all do, believe it or not, very few people are going directly to your webpage. They're trying to find you on social media. So whatever image you have in your other platforms, be consistent. Also find something that represents who you are as a brand. I have a couple friends who we have done interviews and I love their pictures, and they have single-handedly some of the warmest smile. But some of the pictures that you have are not, because we're all trying to be professional artists, believe it or not. We all have this belief that we have to be serious and focused and stoic. It's great. Is that your brand? Is that what you're looking for? So if you are an entrepreneur, you're starting your business, you're a solopreneur, you are a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, and you have your side job, or you're selling different things online, what is that brand? If you are in a book business or you're selling whatever items, I have a few friends who are doing jewelry, they're doing essential oils, they're doing all this stuff. Here's your tip for your brand. How do you become that brand that people trust? What are you posting? Because if you are a brand, your goal is to become an expert of that. So if you are into jewelry and you're selling jewelry, are you showing people the best jewelry around? Are you sending them posts about it? Are you posting articles? Are you representing that brand that people can connect and say, I need to give them a call because they know? If you're doing essential oils, are you actually posting about it? Are you giving them more than information and not just selling? So the rule for social media is the 80-20 rule, and it applies to any business on social media. The way they're explaining it is 80% of the things that you post should be informational, exciting, posting, whatever you want to do for people. 20% should be sales. So in case you didn't realize there's a rule, that's kind of how the branding goes. So if you're looking at my posts recently, I do post at least once a day on Facebook. Out of a week, 5 posts, one would be to kind of promote or sell you one of my books. That's kind of the catch. That's usually my rule. One of them, I'm going to give you some inspirational quotes. I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to either promote the chit chat. I'm going to talk to you about something. Same thing with my newsletter. What is it that you're doing? As a brand, you have to be strategic, my friends. You know what I mean? What is it that you're trying to do? And it can't be by accident. You know, you have to do some understanding who you are, where do you want to go, what do you want, and how strategic you are to get there. Because it's not going to happen by accident. Same thing with growth. John Maxwell says, growth doesn't happen accidentally. You actually have to commit. I am a life learner. You guys all probably realize this by now. I love reading. So at least one of the books that I'm going to read throughout my month is going to be something that's going to help in my business. It might not be exciting, it might not be fun. It's going to be something related to what I'm doing. So I'm either going to read a leadership book, I'm going to read a marketing book, I'm going to read something that's going to push me a little bit outside of my bubble. And I'm always curious what people have to say. They have done some research, they have done some understanding. It might not all apply to me, but I'm always looking to see what is it that is out there that is going to help build my brand. What is that brand? So getting ready, you know, we haven't done a lot of events recently here. So I'm getting in a point that I get to work on my marketing material. I get to work on my swag, the stuff that everybody gets. I get to figure it out, what is it that I want. So one of the things, a part of the branding that I realized is my series and my books didn't have something specifically branding them. So we're going back, you know, I'm adding a couple of guns to my cat lady book as part of the branding. For my Another World, I'm adding a couple of dragons. I'm creating images that actually connect to my series. So when I do merchandise, everything ties. So when you're thinking about branding, my friends, it's not just enough the items that you have, the products that you have, does it match your image? Does it match who you are and what you're trying to convey? What is that brand that you are? If you're quirky and kind of excited, I'm very quirky all the time, I giggle all the time, does that match what people want? Remember, everybody's not going to love what you do. Everybody's not going to love you. That's okay. And I'm saying this from the perspective of the person that wants everybody to like me. It kind of hurts when people's like, oh, I can't stand her. It hurts. Nobody wants to not be liked. I'm also very aware that my flavor is not for everybody, and that's okay. But does your brand attract the right people? Are you magnetizing the people you need? Are the people in your tribe the ones that connect with you and are finding the true you because your brand is speaking to them directly? Take a look at it. Change it. If it's not working, change it. If it's not reflecting what you need, change it. If it's not giving your brand who you are, change it. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you have a business or you're an employee. Everything you put out there is your brand. Is that what you want the world to see? So my friends, thank you so much for joining me on a Saturday morning. It is kind of cloudy and dreary here in Texas on my side, so hopefully yours is sunny and beautiful, and hopefully you're having an amazing day. And if you haven't heard it today from somebody, let me tell you, you're amazing, you are talented, you are powerful, you have a vision and a voice that needs to be heard. Share it with the world. If you haven't heard it from somebody else, I believe in you, and I truly think you're going to do amazing things. So if you're looking for more motivation, remember to sign up for the newsletter. You get a Monday motivation from me directly. If you have a message or something you want me to cover, send me a note. Let me know. We can talk about it in the chit chats. This is what we're here for. And I will see you guys next Saturday again, nice and early, hopefully to kick off your day, tell you how incredible you are, and to remind you, I believe in you. Go forth and do amazing things and have an amazing day, everybody. Thank you.